Hello everyone, so today we're going to be doing my manga reset for January. I have a lot of stuff to go through for this video, so this is probably going to end up being a long video, but as per usual, I'm going to start with showing you my TBR for January. My number one priority, which is no surprise to anyone, it's Golden Kamuy. The final volume comes out on the 16th. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be checking the Barnes & Noble website every single day to see if a copy is there early that I can get. I have previously read through 26 volumes, I think, 25 or 26, and I had a fantastic time. What a ridiculous, fun manga. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what I think of the ending and if this ends up being one of my favorite reads, which I think it will. Also completing in January is Soloist in a Cage. I have not yet read either of the 2 volumes that are out because it is going to be completed at 3 volumes. But I have heard very good things about this. I believe it's a dystopian manga and I love dystopian series. So definitely looking forward to this one as well. And I was looking through the 2024 TBR that I set myself and trying to figure out which series I wanted to start with. And I think I'm going to start with Orange. I have previously read these first 2 omnibuses, but I haven't read the future volume or whatever the other one is. So I'm very much hoping I enjoy it because I want to buy the box set, which is very pretty, but I'm not going to do that if I don't think this is a series that needs to stay in my collection. So we'll see, but I'll let you know my thoughts at the end of the month. So that's it for my TBR. I really don't have that much picked out. I do have quite a few one-shots on my TBR that I need to get through, so I'll probably just pick up some of those once I'm done with these. Also, over the holiday season, I picked up a couple small 3-volume series, so I might read one of those. But yeah, next I think I'm going to show you how I am setting up my new spreadsheet for 2024. This spreadsheet is even more detailed than the previous one, if that was possible, but I think I'm going to have a great time with it again this year. Alright, so here is my new spreadsheet for 2024. I will leave a link in the description to check out the video that goes through this spreadsheet and a couple other versions. There's even a 5-year version, which I've thought of getting, but is even still a little bit intimidating for me. But I will leave links in the description to go check it out if this at all interests you. I know it's a lot, but I really enjoy looking at it throughout the year, so I'll leave that down below. So I'm just going to go through it very quickly and show you how I'm going to use it, and I've already changed some things to make it more usable for me since I do mostly manga, so I will talk about those. First thing I changed is that I added this owned library section. On the regular spreadsheet, there is no owned library section anymore, so all I did was copied the spreadsheet from my other spreadsheet over to this one, and then I did a tiny little bit of baby Excel spreadsheet coding, or Google Sheets in this case, and I just added this, so anytime I go over here and check something as read, then this will automatically update. So this first spread here looks a little bit plain right now because it hasn't put in any of the graphs or anything like that, so it's just blank right now, but I really like the way this looks. It tracks a lot of stuff like I talked about in my last couple of videos, the format and genres and a bunch of other stuff. This will track what I read every month. I'm not sure what this tracks exactly. Maybe it's just a graph of this. I will figure that out as I use it. This is interesting. So this, if I want to use this section, this has a map where I think if you put it in books read, you can pick the country, either where the author is from or where the book takes place. And as you do that, this will shade a country as you're reading. And that's kind of crazy to me. We'll see if I use that. I don't really keep track of the countries at all when I'm reading. And if you decide to get the spreadsheet, there were a bunch of extra sheets to look at and choose which ones you want to use. So these are all ones I think I'm going to use or I would like to use. Next is a very simple, well, it's not simple, just a books read spread with all kinds of information being tracked here. The stuff I'm most interested in is the genres, which are here. The rating, obviously. Intended audience, I will talk about later, but this, when you get the spreadsheet, I think the only intended audiences are YA, middle grade, adult, new adult, stuff like that. And since I mostly use this for manga, I just converted it all to the manga demographics. And then if I read a novel, for example, I just don't even track it. I just put it in other, or I leave it alone. Then over here, we even have the cover color, which I think is kind of funny to look at. And then day started, day finished, typical things, notes you can leave. All right, and then this is the owned library sheet that I brought over. The original spreadsheet that I used last year, it has a lot more information, like the genres for every single book, but because I have so much manga, I did not fill any of those out, and really, I only care about knowing how many volumes I have, if they're read or not. I put the author just because it's easy enough, but all the other information I don't care about right now. So, goals, my top reading goal I already put in here was to read 400 books, mostly manga. And then I have some reading challenges, which I think I will just put the books I wanted to read or the manga series I wanted to read, like Gold and Kamui will do. Although I'm not sure what the difference is between this and this. I guess these are just more general challenges. I'm not sure. But down here, this is just a placeholder book. I didn't put that here. It was just in the spreadsheet already. This you can put in like a cover of each series or book you're planning on reading in the year, and then I think it will automatically track it and stuff. So I did not read 4 things. That was just there. But I'm sure I will read more than 4 things in January. So I will fill this out at some point later on. Bookshelf titles. So this will populate a book in here, like an image of the spine of a book. And then as you go throughout the year, this bookshelf will get bigger and bigger. And I'm sure since I read so much manga, it will look crazy at the end. I'm not sure if I'll keep this, but since I don't really have to do anything with it, I'll look at it. Monthly stats, this should be very fun to look at. I might actually incorporate this into my manga reads videos since it seems so fun, but it's basically just the year stats, but monthly. So pretty simple. And I think you can go here and skip to a different month, and then as you go throughout the year, you'll be able to see all of your monthly data. And then monthly TBR, this one I will probably use even though I keep this information in my journal already. So January, I know I'm reading Golden Kamui. Oops. And then Soloist in a Cage. So I am currently reading Orange. So we'll put that there. We will leave these ones as to read. So this should be fun to look at. I'm not sure I'm ever going to fill out this reason part, but I do really like this status part. So then a monthly side-by-side. This is a lot of stuff to look at all at once, but basically this information right here, pages read, is what I want to look at a lot. So that's nice to have. Otherwise, I'm not sure why I would look at this instead of this monthly stats page. But I'm not going to hide this tab because I might look at it at some point. Habit tracker, I used this for like half the year in 2023 and then stopped using it. But basically, it tracks how many pages you read every day if you want to put that in there. I don't really keep track of this that closely. If I add a book on Goodreads, I will put in the number of pages that the book is on the day I finish the book, but I don't really keep track, like specifically, oh, today I read 30 pages. But this helped me notice that I really don't read a lot of stuff on the weekends, which seems like counterintuitive, but I really don't. I read more on the weekdays. So I might use this. Hopefully, maybe I will end up abandoning it again, but I'll give it a try. So this page is very important. And again, this is one I used it quite a bit, but then towards the end of the year, I kind of abandoned it again. But this is basically every single thing you bought and or sold in the year. And it will calculate the amount that you spent, amount that you sold stuff for, and then calculate the difference. And you can track where you sold it, stuff like that. This will be very helpful for me to realize how much manga I'm buying. I'm really not worried about that much in terms of purchases, but it will be nice to look at. And I also like to know how much money I'm getting back for manga, like when I sell it on eBay or something, because it's not just all money out. There is some money coming in from my collection. That is not the point of my collection. It just happens to be a thing that occurs, but it will be nice to track. And then the last tab that I kept from this spreadsheet is releases. This is one I do really want to keep up to date. Again, last year I used it for most of the year, towards the end of the year, and when things were getting delayed, it got kind of confusing to change this up every time. So before Right Stuff died, I went ahead and grabbed the release dates for all the manga I was interested in, all the ones they had listed. I put them in my previous spreadsheet, so I'll just move that information all over here. Oh, I lied. That wasn't the last tab. I got confused. Next is library books. I have been using the library a lot more. So not really for manga, more for regular novels. But I will hopefully use this. Star Reads, I think this just automatically populates this as you fill out the other sheets. Readathons, I'm not sure I'm going to use this very much, but I left it here just in case. I do participate in a couple readathons every year, Manga Freakathon, the one-shot readathon, but I'm not sure I do enough to actually keep a spread like that. This is actually the last tab. So this is all the information that is used in like these drop-down things. Like over here, the genres and stuff, it gets all that information from this last tab. And so all I did here to change some things to make it for manga is obviously, like I said, I changed the target age, and then I changed a lot of the publishers. This had mostly just popular, like regular novel publishers, and I did like to track that on my last one, but for this one, I'm just keeping mostly, actually all these are just the manga publishers. And I changed a couple of the genres. I added sports, I believe, and I think I added paranormal as well, or supernatural. Supernatural is one I added. The selling locations, I think there were like Depop and something else. I just added Mercari and eBay since that's where I usually sell my manga. So that's everything. A lot of information to look at, but it is so fun for me to look at this every month, especially this owned library section. So I had to move this over from my other spreadsheet because this is the one I use pretty much every day, and I love watching this number go down and this number go up. I'm still learning how this one works, so I still might change some things. I'll probably get rid of a couple more of these tabs that I realize I'm not going to use. But yeah, I was going to set this up in this video, but it's pretty much as set up as it's going to get. I can add some monthly goals or whatever, and my yearly goals as well I will add. But I'll do that off screen, no big deal. All right, real quick before I move on to the next thing, I just wanted to show you what this looks like once the graphs are in here. These graphs obviously update as I fill out the spreadsheet, and then here is the bookshelf page, and then finally the monthly view, which looks pretty similar. But yeah, next we're going to be filling out my new reading journal for 2024. Right, so I'm trying to decide which of these journals I want to use for 2024. And so I guess I'll just go through them really quickly. I'm probably going to post on Instagram and ask them which one I should use. It doesn't really matter. This one's hardcover. I like this one. A couple months ago, I bought like all of these. Wow, this is really messing up the color balance. I'm leaning towards this one, but like I said, I'll let Instagram decide. I bought all these a couple months ago because, I don't know, I just spontaneously bought a bunch of journals to use. And now I have enough for like the next 12 years. So once I get enough votes from Instagram, then I'll go ahead and set this up. All right, so I did that poll on Instagram, and I don't really know what the point of that was since I'm just going to ignore the results. But basically, this one won, and I do really like this notebook, but because it is a little bit smaller, and I've used smaller notebooks before, and I just prefer the bigger ones, I decided to go with this one. This one was the second place winner. This doesn't really matter, but just letting you know, I'm ignoring those results, kind of. So I did end up setting up this one, but before we go through that, I'm going to show you what my old one looked like. So this one, I have not used the entire thing yet. I have about a quarter left, and I started this in July. So this is definitely not going to last the entire year, but I'll just start with this one. But I just wanted to do a flip through real quick and show you what this looks like. I do not decorate my journals like bullet journals. I use it very simply. I just write down pretty much anything I think of. It's not organized in any way. Like my thoughts on my August reads are not just in one section. If I think of something else like a video idea, I'll just write it down on that one page and then turn the page and continue on with my August reads. So it's really not organized. I like to use a bunch of different colors, but that's about all the decoration I do. I've tried before to make like really artistic journals, and I kind of hated it. I feel like it took way more time to actually try and fail to decorate it to look nice than if I just didn't do that, and so I never really used it when it looked like that. So I'm just doing it like this, and it's not pretty and my handwriting is terrible, but I don't really care. It is what it is, but I thought I would show you real quick how I set this one up. Very simple. A lot of the information in here will also be in my spreadsheet. Also, if you wanted to know where I got this journal, this is the creator. I bought a bunch of these that look similar to this. So some of this information is a little bit redundant because it is in my spreadsheet already, but I wanted to have a physical memory of these things as well, and I just like crossing things off a list. So first up here we have my 2024 TBR. So if you've seen my 2024 goals video, you know all of these series. So there's 10 series I need to read, 6 series I'd like to reread. My main goal of reading 400 books and then 2 novels per month is 24 novels. So these are all my goals. Then over here, like I said, please ignore my handwriting. This is actually neater than it usually is. But this is all of my completed manga that I have on my TBR. Most of these are one-shots, but there's some shorter series as well. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of these are 10 volumes or less. So even though it looks like a lot, it's actually not that many volumes to read, and that continues on the next page. And so throughout 2024, I will add more to this list. I probably should have left myself an extra page now that I think about it, but you know what? It's okay. And then here are all my novels on my TBR. I haven't gone through this. I didn't go through this at the end of 2023 to make sure these are all things I still want to read. Some of these, like these ones up here, I'm pretty sure have been on my TBR since like 2016 at least. But these are all books I do own physically. I think this list is also missing some because for a while, like last year and the year before, I was buying a couple books and I never wrote them down. So I might be missing some. If I can figure that out, I'll add them on. But here is my novel TBR. And then my January TBR, which you saw earlier, I decided to add Bakano volumes 2 through 4. I'm pretty sure I can get through 3 light novels this month. And then I left an extra space in case I think of something else to read. And then I also have a try a volume video I'm going to be doing in January. And these are the volumes I want to read for that. And then the next page is my video plans for January. So you can see all those. And then the filmed, edited, and uploaded checklist for those. So that's all I have so far. The rest of this will just be me writing down any and all thoughts I have while reading a volume of manga. That helps me when I'm doing my reading wrap-ups at the end of the month to know exactly what I thought of a volume while I was reading it. That's it. Pretty easy. I really don't like to make it complicated because this isn't really something, it's not an art piece, it's just a kind of physical memory. So if I wanted to go back and see what I read in like 2018, I have a journal that I can go back and look at. Actually, I think at that point I was using like spiral notebooks still, and I should probably some point make a video about that and show my old reading journals because it's a lot. I might eventually like add stickers to this or something just to make it a little bit more interesting to look at. But really, I just write whatever random things in here that I think of, so I don't really need to make it fancy. It's just for me. All right, so here's the deal. In the last at least 2 months, I've been filming a lot of videos, and anytime I take a book off of my shelf in order to film a video, I never put the book back on the shelf. I just piled it up, and so there's books all over the floor and books all over my bed, and it's a disaster. So since we're entering a new year, I should fix my bookshelves and make them look at least not like a disaster to give myself like a nice reset and start to the year. So that's what I'm going to do here. So if you like those manga organization videos, you'll probably like this section. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the end of the video. So thanks for watching. So yeah, I finished this for the most part. There are still a couple like unhaul books laying around and a couple other books that I am thinking about doing a haul for, but feel way better now that my entire bed isn't covered in books and most of them are on the shelf where they're supposed to be. As you can probably tell, I'm running out of space again. And it's kind of annoying me when I can't keep the same genre all on the same shelf, so I am actively thinking about adding more shelves right now, but that's a problem for later me. So yeah, that was everything. I haven't edited this video yet, but I assume this one is kind of on the longer side, so sorry or you're welcome, depending on how you feel about that. But yeah, I hope you're all still enjoying these reset videos. I'm having a lot of fun making them and going through them. It really helps me keep myself organized, or at least feeling organized. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.